Hello, I am Maki of My Transgender Date, the #1 dating site for trans women. Before we dive into today's topic, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss our next video. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic in our community: coming out. Coming out can be a scary and nerve-wracking experience, but it can also be liberating and life-changing. I'm going to share with you some of the steps I believe can help you if you have no idea where to start. You don't have to necessarily follow what I say step by step, but rather use it as a guideline to help you with your own journey. Step 1, self-reflection. Take some time to think about your identity and what it means to you. You can start writing a journal. You can work with a therapist. Personally, I find this expensive and not everyone can access it, especially in my country, the Philippines. But if you can afford it, then please do it. I did not have this opportunity when I was trying to figure things out with myself. I took the time in high school discovering who I was. I went through an identity crisis back in high school, and I was afraid of being feminine. I did not want to look feminine, and I was in denial of being a transgender woman. I also did not know about being a trans woman at that time. It was only in college that I learned about being a transgender person. This can be quite an emotional process because you have to look inside yourself to find answers. It's important to be honest with yourself and how you feel. And no one knows you better than yourself and what you want. Use this time to actually get to know yourself better. Acknowledge your feelings even when you find them difficult. Step 2, planning. Once you have done your self-reflection, have a plan of how you are going to come out. My planning came first, to be honest. Growing up and living here in the Philippines, you always see and meet queer people. For example, I remember meeting a flamboyant gay man when I was 7 and he was a friend of my mom. And we have neighbors who are effeminate men. I also have an older cousin who is a trans woman. So as early as this age, I kind of knew I was one of them. So the plan was to stick to being a boy by default and find my group at the right time. I have executed this plan until the time I knew who I was and who I wanted to be. Sounds easy, but it was difficult. And by the time I learned who I was, I also found my people. These are the people closest to you that you are comfortable with and who you have shared your experiences with. So you need to decide, number 1, who to tell, number 2, when to tell them, and number 3, how to tell them. I would suggest starting with people who you feel are most likely going to be supportive. You can decide to tell close friends or family members. As for how to do it, if it's easier for you to write a letter to express your feelings better, then go for it. If you're more comfortable telling them in person, then that's great too. As for me, I remember sharing my feelings to my girl cousin. But I also had a friend in grade school who helped me discover my identity. Honestly, this was pretty easy for me as a Filipino. You can easily find your group here. You can find trans women wherever you go. And being open about my gender identity was a gradual process with the help of my trans friends from school. But it was not that easy to tell my family about it. Step 3, practice. It's normal to feel nervous when coming out. So it can be helpful to practice what you're going to say so you won't get tongue-tied. Practicing in front of your mirror can help, or if you're working with a therapist, then you can practice in front of them. It's important to remember to take your time and practice as much as you can. This will give you more confidence to say it during the actual time you come out. For me, I honestly did not practice. Lol. Did any of my fellow trans Pinays here practice their coming out? Honest question. Please leave a raise hand emoji in the comments section. Step 4, timing. Timing is very important, and this can really matter depending on your circumstances. Think about the potential risk and what you are willing to lose when you come out. Some of us have lost support from our family members, spouses, and even our homes. I'm not saying this to scare you, but this is just to prepare you. I prepared myself for my coming out, especially when I decided to transition. We know that medical transitioning involves money, and my family was not willing to help me with that. So I waited to be financially ready. I was able to get a part-time job when I was in college, and that was the beginning of my coming out. Timing can depend on the relationship with the person you want to tell. Try to get a feel of their level of support and understanding. In this aspect, I'm very lucky that I have a very good relationship with my mom and the rest of my family. Another thing to consider when it comes to timing is your emotional readiness, which leads me to step 5, preparation for reaction. There will be some people who may be supportive and accepting, but there might also be others who do not understand and will react negatively. This is where your emotional readiness comes in. You might be ready to come out, but there might be others who will not be ready for that. You have to be strong. Remember that you can't control how people will react, but you can control how you respond. It's important to have a support network to help you cope with negative reactions. Step 6, coming out. For me, it was a gradual process. I did not have this sit-down conversation with my mom and the rest of my family. I did not have a presentation of who I am. It just naturally comes. You are like a butterfly. My family already had an idea that I was a butterfly, and they were just waiting for me to spread my wings. I do believe that the sit-down type of conversation with family is common in the West, and it's also very important. My gradual way of coming out was when I started plucking my eyebrows, wearing a beginner's bra or a baby bra, wearing baby tees, and when I started growing my hair. This is just how I did it. Though if you need to have a one-on-one conversation with your family, then practice really helps. Step 7, self-care. Throughout the whole process and until after you come out, you have to prioritize self-care. Coming out might take a lot out of you emotionally and mentally. There are different ways to practice self-care, like being mindful and kind to yourself. Engage in activities that bring you joy. Recharge yourself in ways you know how. This could be as simple as doing your skincare or taking a long hot bath. You can travel alone and do some soul searching. Remember, coming out is a personal process that should be done in your own time. I also believe that part of self-care is going back to your group. Make sure to have constant communication with the people who you have shared your experiences with. I truly believe that no man is an island, so you need these people. Now, I know that not all of us are fortunate to have their core group, but at least find a support system that you can share your emotions and situation with. Ultimately, you decide how your own coming out experience will be. For those of you who are watching this video and have already come out, can you tell me in the comments any other tips or steps to help others in their journey? Who knows? What you shared might just be the right advice someone else needs. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. See you in the next video.